slides.
Closer. My voice audible closer. Sir, is it audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's audible, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Sir, we will start in 2 minutes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, okay, ma'am.
afternoon, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure. Please mute yourself, sir. Everyone, please. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all for the day two of our 5 days virtual FTP on research methodology and power of research tools. On behalf of St. Joseph College, Arts and Science, Department of Corporate Secretariat, I extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to each and every one of you for this faculty development program. To start this event, I request Ranjit sir to lead with prayers.
God the Almighty, we thank you for adding yet another day in our life. Lord, we hand over the second day of virtual FDP in your mighty hand. Bless the resource person of this day and grant them your divine wisdom. Help the participants to learn the insights of today's topic. Above all, your name alone be glorified. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Ranjit sir. I'm thrilled to see so many dedicated educators here today, ready to embark on a journey to learn and grow. Let's make this program a valuable experience for all of us. So, to inspire us today, we have Dr. Selvakumar sir, Assistant Professor of Commerce from B.S. Abdul Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology. Since 2005, Dr. Selvakumar sir has actively involved in the teaching field. He has also served as a research supervisor at the University of Madras. He has participated in over 25 national and international seminars, workshops, and training programs. He has published more than 20 research articles in various national and international journals. On behalf of St. Joseph College, we welcome you, sir, Dr. T. Selvakumar, sir. We welcome you, sir. I request all the participants to kindly actively participate in this faculty development program. Thank you. Sir, over to you, sir. Selva Kumar, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your brief introduction, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am, is it audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, I thank the management, the honorable principal, the respected head of the department, and the event coordinators for giving me the wonderful opportunity to act today, a event of as a resource person. Then uh, the second day, we are going to discuss about that how we are going to identify the research problem, how we are going to form the research design. Shall we go to the topic, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ma'am, the slide is visible, ma'am. Ma'am, the slide is visible or not?
Mm, yes, sir. But still, there is some lag, sir, I guess.
Stefan, kindly check slide. Let me know.
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir.
Ma'am, now audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. It's audible now, sir.
Okay. Right, ma'am. Slide is visible, ma'am.
Yes, sir. It's visible now.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Dear professors and research scholars, due to some technical issues, so then I get for a few minutes. Now we are going. Today's we are going to discuss identification of research problem and the formation of research design. So before identification of the research problem, everyone has a clarified about what is the research topic. So first you have to choose that research topic. How you can choose the research topic? The research topic in the selecting the topic, the category, because you are aware about the research topic. In case your guide is not at aware, the research topic means we are not possible to get a good result. So you have to choose your topic properly. After selection of the topic, we are going to enter the identification of the research problem. So the research problem means a systematic research. They begin with a research problem. The first step, then in the scientific or social research method, the recognition of the result, and upon the researcher, one of the experienced person easily identify that about the research problem, but a newcomer, a new researcher, it's not possible to identify easily the research problem. You first the research process is to select the problem or for investigation. Selecting and formulating a problem is one of the most important steps of beginning the research in any field. The beginning researcher are often a surprise to find that this initial stage took up a large portion of the research project. There is no way to do the research until a problem is recognized. So, there are different way, then you have to follow that. Then in a research process, anyways in the research process, the initial stage, the most crucial step in the selection and the precise definition of the research problem, then the earlier stage, anyone is not possible to identify and clarify for getting the research problem. The researcher must identify and they articulated the problem in a manner that makes it amenable in the investigation. Then of the field, the agriculture, or then any one of the field we are choosing, the researcher must carefully assess all symptoms associated with a problem of the related field of view. Then the method prescription, whether they are observed or not, before making the accurate the diagnosis, to define the problem accurately. A researcher must understand the nature. Another one for what is the definition of a problem? The research problem refers to a specific question. Then we have said that specific question or specific issue or area of the inquiry. If a researcher want to investigate the same thing we have discussed later, because of any one thing, we are going to enter in the research field. We are going to identify some of the issues, some of the new issue, some of the inquiries, or any of the specific results. We are searching that. Then the researcher wants to investigate or explore through the process of research. We should be follow the step by step of the process. So the typically formulated based on gaps, the research gap. So why? What is the reason we are going to then identifying the research problem means the through the problems only the possibility we are getting the research gap. The or definitions of existing knowledge. The unresolved the questions or a practical concern or emerging issues within a particular field or discipline where got it through for the research problem. The identification and definition of a research problem are a critical steps in the research process. Then a shape of direction, or scope, or objectives of the study, whatever may be. A well-defined research problem provides a clarity and focus. It should be helping the researcher to design appropriate research methods. Then it may be useful for the collection of data and may be helpful and getting a good result for the analysis the findings. Then so the identification of research problem, the identification of a research, the identification of research, the method to be a sense of awareness of a prevalent social problem, a social phenomenon or a concept that is worth study as it requires to be investigated to understand it. So the researcher identifies such a research problem through his observation or knowledge or wisdom or skill. Then anyone method we are going to get the research problems. Then next one we are discuss that what is a research problem. So what is the research problem? So the research problem means the define the already we are says that then we are going to find out through for someone help of things we are find out the research problem. It is set its directions, a scope, and a focus to the entire study. Then you are going to enter the step by step the guide the how it is defined the research problem, how it is helpful to your research where the identification very important. So just we are discussing some things in the first one for the statement of problems. So in case then what purpose you are going to enter that the statement of the problem, you have to identify the first one. The second one for the nature of a research problem. So what purpose? The nature you have to do that. The research, the identifying the nature of the problem. Then another one for the review and the available of literature. The fourth one, discussion to enrich the subject matters. Fifth one, redesigning of the research problem. Sixth one, utility of research. Seventh one, the practicability of the research study. So in case the statement of the problem, so we are then at the time of choosing the topic, already we have some ideas. Then the area, which area we are going to select. Then the topics related of the problems we are possible to identify or not. So what we are going to search, some ideas already got for the researchers. So the statement of the problem, through help of we are getting some ideas. Next one for the nature of the research problem. In case nature means then we are identified practically. Then some social issues, some social problems we are aware about it. Then in case at present any issues going on, we are identified. Then the through we are the through we are expose it the problems identification, that is nature of the research problem. Then another one for review of the available the literatures. Then the prior to selecting the problem for the proposed study, a crucial to a thoroughly review the available literature. This process can yield a valuable insights and suggestions, facilitating the identification of the pertinent research issues. Then any the necessary adjustment or addition to the research problem you can need for based on the examination, better you are conducting the review of the available literature. Then fourth one, a discussion to enrich the subject matter. The discussion, the enrich to subject matters means that because of your selected area, then the topics. So then some expert is there for the related of your research topic. Better you go to sit and discuss about your topic. So you got some idea from there. Another one way is that then you are going to discuss with the better your guide, then supervisor. So the supervisor have some ideas. Then how to identify the problem. So how to then how to formation of the study. He have some ideas. Better you can discuss with your guide. So because of the research topic should remain open to discussion with the expert. It is through this discussion the new ideas can be the cultivated. It's known as a experimental survey. We have says that this is one of the experimental survey. Then foster the exchange of the perspective and the insights. The discussion should promote a constructive dialogue, then aiming towards a broader understanding of the problem at hand. So in case of the discussion is very one of the useful method. Next one for redesigning of the research problem. Then redesigning means, then I like to say one thing. Research means research the already searched, the many expert and researchers already searched in the all the topics. So now you are going to research of against the same topic, that's all. That is a research. The same for we are going to do collecting the information for the redesigning of the research problem. The conducting the research study, the necessitate to researchers the skill in directing their researcher concept towards the appropriate path, the enabling the transaction of these ideas into the variable working hypotheses. The process render the researcher problem operational, the feasible and lays the groundwork of a developing a effective hypothesis of the study. Then they collect the information. Then another one for the utility of research. Then the utility of research we are got it for the fulfill the academic interest of the researcher. Then the benefit in case of anyone like to say the some information to the society. So why what is the reason we are conducting the research? Then we must be aware that. Then anyone can know that why we are involved in the research activities. Dear participants, anyone? Why we are enter into the research activities? We want to get the PhD degree. Is it correct or not?
Yes, sir.
It's an open discussion. It's an open
Yes, sir.
discussion. Is then why what purpose we are entering into the research activities means we want to like to say something into the society. Our research should be beneficial to the society. So then anyone research the finally the provide the result to the society. In case you are then you as a researcher you are like to say anything new into the into the society. You like to say any new beneficial to the employees or customers means we are you have to enter into the research. So in this related we are searching the problem is called for utility of research. Then utility for a research. Then another one for the practicability of the research study. The practicability just now the before started the research problem, then I told one things. Then practically means we are identified the practical problem.
Nowadays we are seeing for the prodigal problem of it should be related with a worker, it's related with the student, maybe it is related with our co-worker. So in time we are traveling, then we are traveling our life, then we are saw for so many problems in the society. So we identify the problems also. So it's one of the formation of the problems. That is the another one things for the types of research problem. So what are the types of research problem? We can follow that. The first one for descriptive problems, exploratory problems, then explanatory problem, then another one for a predictive problem, evaluative with the problems. So we are classified. Then what is meant by descriptive problems? Then we are says that sometimes the researcher said that the descriptive research, this my research is a descriptive one. This is a descriptive related of the research. The people said that. Then what is meant by the descriptive, the research? Then the then what is meant by exploratory problem? What do you mean by the explanatory problem? Then what is meant by the predictive the problems? Then evaluative the problems we are discussed now. Then the descriptive problems, it should be related with we are analyzing with any one of the descriptive areas. Example, for we are compared with the income, we are compared with the age group, we are compared with the education, we are compared with any one of the new is related with the descriptive problems. Then another one for exploratory problems. So in case of the exploratory, then we want to identify the problems or make look deeply into a specific subject or issues. Then frequently to develop a new theories or ideas, we got it means we are going to enter the exploratory theory problems. Then I like to say one example for, then we know very well about the motivation theory. Then yes, we are aware about that. Then yes sir, then is it correct or not? Dear participants, we know very well for the motivation theory, Maslow theory, X theory, Y theory, Z theory. Then we are aware about that. We are all aware or not? Anyone can possible to answer?
Yes.
Uh,
Yes, we were
then
aware.
then we are aware that they about it. Then motivational theory. In case you want to develop any one of the specific theory or specific subject, in case of specific issues, already the peoples found that. Then we are going to we are going to develop a new theories. That's all. Then we are going to added some new ideas. For instead, is called for a exploratory problems or theories. Then another one for explanatory problems. What is my explanatory problem? The problems of issues usually involve testing ideas, a hypothesis to understand why I certain the phenomenon is called for a explanatory problems. Then a scholar might examine a connection between the exercise and a mental health to determine whether they actively directly impact on mental health. We are going to conduct the studies called for a explanatory problems. In case already we are studied in the statistics for the some hypotheses, we are going to prove. Is it correct or not? Then the what result we are getting, the positive or negative. It's related with of the study. We are says that a explanatory problems. Then another one for the predictive problems. What is a predictive problem? Then they're making the predictions or they estimate about the potential occurrence or patterns of record of these issues. Then a researcher may examine the variables influencing a possible success in a specific area or business. In case you want to do that the research here, selecting the predictive problems. Then next one, the evaluative problem. These issues entail determining how well a specific intervention the programs are a strategic work. So the evaluation oriented of the programs we have to select for might assess the effect of a novel instructions method, the result of public, the learning. So we are choosing that the evaluative, the problems. Then these are all the types of the research problem. First one for a descriptive problem, second one exploratory problem, third one explanatory problem, fourth one predictive problem, fifth one evaluative problems. So the descriptive means then we are going to compare with age wise, then income wise, or education wise. Then in case where we are going to compare any one of the incident, then we are going to compare the school oriented. We are choosing that. It says that yeah, the descriptive problems. Then at the times, then we are formation of the research design. We are writing the for the my research is a descriptive research. Why we are writing the word? Why we are writing the our my research is descriptive research. My research is exploratory research. My research is explanatory research. My research is predictive research. My research is evaluative research. The people's the writing. So why they are writing? We should be know that many of the researchers not aware about that. Why we are writing the descriptive research, exploratory research, explanatory research. Then let me to say the few things in our mother tongue. நிறைய பேர் நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னாக்கா ரிசர்ச்சில் எழுதும்போதே ரிசர்ச் டிசைனில் நிறைய பேப்பர்ஸ் எழுதுவாங்க. எழுதும்பொழுது ஆர்டிகல்ஸ் பப்ளிஷ் பண்ணும்போது ஜேர்னல்ஸ்லாம் பப்ளிஷ் பண்ண பேப்பர்ஸில் பார்த்தோன்னாக்கா உங்களுடைய ரிசர்ச் என்னன்னு சொல்லி கேட்கும்போது அவங்க சொல்லுவாங்க மை ரிசர்ச் இஸ் டெஸ்கிரிப்டிவ் ரிசர்ச் அப்படின்னுவாங்க, மை ரிசர்ச் எக்ஸ்ப்ளோரட்டரி ரிசர்ச் அப்படின்னுவாங்க. அப்படி என்ன டெஸ்கிரிப்டிவ் ரிசர்ச்னா என்னன்னு சொல்லி கேட்டோம்னாக்கா அவங்களுக்கு சொல்ல தெரியாது. எக்ஸ்ப்ளோரட்டரி ரிசர்ச்னா என்ன உங்களுக்கு சொல்ல தெரியாது. எக்ஸ்ப்ளோரட்டரி ரிசர்ச்னா உங்களுக்கு சொல்ல தெரியாது. அந்த ரிசர்ச் என்னன்னு சொன்னால் கேட்டோம்னாக்கா அவங்களுக்கு தெரியாது. பட் ஆனால் ரிசர்ச் எல்லாருமே அதில் காட்டுவாங்க. ஏன்னா இதுக்கு முன்னாடி நான் படித்ததில் எல்லாமே டெஸ்கிரிப்டிவ் ரிசர்ச் இருந்துச்சு, அதனால தான் அதை காட்டினேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. But it's not a correct descriptive problem. You are then you are identified as a researcher. You are already identified your problems is related with the descriptive. You are going at the time of analyzing you compare with your income, compare with your age, compare with your gender, compare with your education. So it's related with we are compared that's why we are shows that my research is a descriptive research. அதனால தான் நம்ம descriptive research நான் சொல்றோம் அதில். Then point number 2 சொல்லும்போது the exploratory problem. The exploratory research means then we are going to develop any one of the new theories. We are going to you are going to develop any one of the new theory. Then you are going to add any one new things. You are going to support with someone. You are going to endure that the research for exploratory research. That time we are writing that my research is a exploratory research. அப்போ தான் நம்ம அந்த exploratory researchனு எழுதும்போது இப்போ நம்ம இப்போ just now we have discussed that. இப்போ மோட்டிவேஷன் தியரி படித்தோம், எக்ஸ் தியரி, ஒய் தியரி, இசட் தியரி, இந்த தியரிலாம் படிச்சிருக்கோம். இந்த பேஸ் இதுக்கெல்லாம் பேஸ் என்ன? மாஸ்லோ தியரி. மாஸ்லோ தியரி பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் என்ன பண்ணுறோம், எக்ஸ் தியரி கொண்டு வரோம். எக்ஸ் தியரி பேஸ் பண்ணி ஒய் தியரி, ஒய் தியரியை பேஸ் பண்ணி இசட் தியரி. ஸோ அப்போ அந்த ரிசர்ச்சில் அவன் கண்டுபிடிச்சி என்ன சொல்ல போகிறோம், நம்ம எக்ஸ்ப்ளோரட்டரி ரிசர்ச். அதான் எக்ஸ்ப்ளோரட்டரி ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் சொல்கிறோம். அதான் தென் explanatory. The explanatory problem in case of explanatory research means the issues usually involved the testing oriented. So the result declared after the testing. Then what is our science social research? Maybe or may not. We are conclude that. Yes, correct or not? Anyone? Our research is maybe or may not. So we are not it says the conclusion for the accurately. In case you want to say any one thing for accurately, you have to do that the exploratory research. Then the predictive problem related for we are under the predictive the research. The prediction based example for weather report. We have got it, the weather report. Day by day we are got for a weather report. What is the then the prediction basis? The prediction basis we are doing that. Any one of the research is called for a predictive research. That is a predictive problem. The evaluative problems. The evaluative problem means the issues until determining then well a specific the interventions or programs or the discussion oriented is called for a evaluative problems. Then another one for a sources of a research problem. Then what are the sources of a research problem? Then what are the sources we are identify that? The identification of a problem to study can be a challenging and not a because there is a lack of issues that would be investigated. They are due to the challenge of formulating the academically relevant researchable problem which is unique, does not simply a duplicate of a work of others. Then we have to facilitate how you are might select a problem from which you build your research study and you research your area. It should be inspiration of others. It's a very very important one. Then at the time of the explaining in the DC meeting of research problems, the your guide, your DC members, everyone should be satisfied of your identification problem. So in case you want to satisfy all the peoples, what you can do that? First one, deduction from theory. First one for a deduction from theory. There is a related deduction made from a social philosophy. The generalization, the embodies is life in the society, that a researcher is familiar with a particular areas. These deductions from a human behavior are the place within a empirical frame of a reference through the research. Then formulating the research problems, the hypothesis stating the expected findings in a certain empirical situation. The research asks the questions related with for the what is the relation between the variable will observed for the optimization of the summarized. This is questions is oriented with a deductions. That is a deduction from the theory. The first one. Second one for interdisciplinary perspective. Second sources we are get for a research problem, the interdisciplinary perspectives. Then identifying a problem that a form of basis for a research study can come from the academic movements and a scholarship, then originating in disciplines outside of your primary area of study. You can do intellectually stimulating some exercises or a review a pertinent of literature should include the examining the research from your related disciplines that can reveal a new avenues of the exploration of analysis. If you got it. Second one, third one for interviewing the then practitioners. The interviewing practitioners means you are going to conduct the interview. You are going to conduct the interview. The identification of a research problem about the particular topics can arise from a formal interview. There are information discussion. In case then you are going to conduct the research about that, then employee satisfaction. The employee satisfaction means you have collected some information from the employee. Then the same times you are going to collect the information from the employer also, because of the employer only know that the what are the beneficial offer to the employees. So in a future they are the what are the benefits they are ready to implement, they only know that. So we are going to sit and get the information from the employer. It's called for a interviewing the practitioners. Then another one for the personal experience. The personal experience means then we should be aware. Then you as a researcher, you don't undervalue your everyday experiences and encounters, because it is a worthwhile the problems of investigation. Example for movie. Nowadays there's so many movies are released. Then how they are got it the story? Because of the day-to-day life. So they are listening, they are watching, they are listening, they are watching the practical life, the practical thinking, the practical life and the practical thinking they are going to implement. They are going to implement. That is for a personal experience. That's why I telling, then you don't undervalue your everyday experiences and or encounters. It should be worthwhile problem for your investigation. Then think critically about your own experiences, then the frustration with an issue of facing the society, your community, your neighborhood, your family, your personal life, you are facing problem for day by day. So it should be helpful for the identifying the problems. That is a personal experience. Another one for the relevant literature. The relevant literature, the selection of the research problem can be derived from through a review of the pertinent of a research association. With your overall area of interest is for a relevant literature. The relevant literature, maybe you got it for, then for fill your gap of the knowledge, you should be evaluating the methodology, then employed of the prior studies, then there's similar of conducted the different subject areas. Somewhere you are got it some idea from through the research is for a relevant literature. Then another one for the another one, the source of research problem, the theories of one own interest. Second one for practical problems. Third one a theoretical frameworks. Fourth one a social and cultural context. Fifth one a technological changes. Sixth one a discussion with the expert and authorities. Another one for policy needs. Then theory of one own interest means the observation, experience, the encounters one of the professionals is called for theories of one own interest. The practical problems, then we are discussed that the practical problem we are faced day by day our life. The theoretical framework, any of the theoretical models or framework, then we are got it the information. The social cultural issues arising the society, the cultural, economical, the political, then we are got it the information. The technological, then emerging the technology or innovations that arise a new questions or create a opportunity for researchers. Another one for a discussion with the expert authorities. In case of the policy needs, the required for a gap policy, the regulation or practices that are necessity, research to information of decision making. These are for a sources of research problem. Then another one for steps in selecting the research problem. In case of, then what are the steps in selecting for your research problem? First one for statement of problem. Then second one, nature of research problem. Third one, a review of the available literature. Then another one for a discussion to enrich in subject matter. Next one, the redesigning of the research problem. Redesigning of the next one, utility of research. The finally for then practicability of the research study. Then another one for the components of the research problem. The steps in selecting the research problem, then already we are discussed. Then the theoretical one did. Then the statement of the problem, nature of the research problem, review of the available literature, the discussion enrich in subject matter, redesigning of research problem, utility of research, the practicability of the research study. Next one, the components of a research problem. So what are the components? Then a need for the research problem. Then first components is a topic we need for. Then this refers to then overreaching the area, the domain under investigation in your research. You should be select your topic, the first one. Second one for the research question. The research, then how we are formation of the research question. A well-defined and specific question that is study aim to explore your address, then objectives. The objectives this then the it is the objectives means it is your aim, it is your goal. What do you expected outcomes of the research? You are mentioned it in the objectives, the scope and limitations. Then scope and limitation you are under that the explanation of boundaries and the constraints of the study. Then it should be including for include what are the items you are included, what are the items you are excluded, everything mentioned it for a limitation. Then it is one of the potential constraints for the researcher because of then after submission, then at the time of viva, then you are possible to escape from the questions through for the scope and the limitation, because so many presenters the asking questions related with your topic for unnecessarily. Then you are easily escaped from the questions you are showing the, then you said then already mentioned it all the information from my scope and the limitations. It's one of the important. Next one for the significance. Then highlights the highlights your potential significance of the research. Then it should be helpful to the contribute the field of the study. They expand your current understanding also. the hypothesis, then educate the predictions regarding the relationship between variables that are subject to testing during the research, the hypothesis, the variables, the factors. The variables means the observation, the elements of observations, the measurement, the manipulation of research, the variable should be selected one, the methodology. Then what at the time of the research methodology, the comprehensive of your plan, your techniques of employed, it should be helpful for your research. These are all for components of the research problems. Then components of research problems. Then something for at the time of we are choosing that the characteristics also. So at the time of in case of a good research problem, we are identifying the characters based. Then in case of the problem of significant, the problem we are identified with a lead of further the research oriented, we should be choosing that. Then at the time, yeah, whatever may be, you have to choose the identify the research problem, but the without the topic selection, we can't be able to do that anything. So you first you have to choose your topic, then carefully. At the time of selection of the topic or choosing your topic, you are discuss with your research supervisor, because he should be aware about the topic. You should be aware about the topic. Then both of you accepted means after they are going to enter into the research, then because the topic is play a vital role for your completion of the research and the research areas of thesis. So select your topic very carefully. Then after selection, we are going to going to collect the information. Information means identification of your problems, because of through identification of the problem, we are formation of the importance of the study, the scope of the study, then another one the objectives of the study, the limitation, everything. We are based on, we are writing the research problem, the very important. The problem based, we are writing the research gap. Then because of a research gap, very very important one. Then research after identify the research gap, we are writing everything, the importance of study, the scope of the study, the objectives of the study, then the limitation, everything. Then at the time of writing the objectives, you should be related with your thought, your emotion. What do you like to say? What do you like to complete your research? You should be contained by with your objectives, because the objective is a blood of a human, like as a blood of a human. The objective is very very important. Then after the objectives oriented, you have to prepare your questionnaire. Then the questionnaires not beyond the limitation of the objectives. You should be at the time of preparation of the questions, then it should be easily, and the another one for it should be consist of the law. Sometimes we are touching the personal activities or personal involvements, or any one of the law related, means it's one of the difficult to meet in a future by the researchers. So you have to choose the carefully, carefully and writing your research things. Then finally, I thanks to all the participants and research scholars and all research scholars for listening nearly 30 to 35 minutes of the today FDP. Then I thanks to one and all. And any questions? Any questions from the present years?
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful explanation, mainly about the resource of research problem, which gave us so many points about the various resources. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Any questions, ma'am?
I request the participants to open for question and answer session. If you have any question, please unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
can you explain the difference between research problem and research question? And
Research problem, yes, sir. The research problem means then the problem we are going to search related with our topic. Got it, sir?
then what is the research question?
Research question means the after identification of the research problem, we are formation of the objectives and the importance. The objectives and the importance based, we are going to formation of the research questions.
So is it other way around? First we form the research questions, then we come to the from the research questions we frame the objectives.
No, sir, no, sir, no, sir, no, sir, no, sir, no, sir. Because of your formation of the research question before the objectives means it's not helpful for your analysis.
Okay, thank you, sir.
It's not helpful your analysis because of the before formation of the research question is well defined for the objectives.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other question? If you have any.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, madam.
If my objectives is 4, how many
Okay.
question can be aligned, sir?
Objectives because of the well question, ma'am. Then because the objectives force means minimum 10 questions enough, ma'am, per objectives.
Per objectives, no?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Totally 40 questions is enough because of we are extend of the questions means then nowadays the respondents not answer some of the questions. They leave it is. We are find the then bias. So better then maximum 10 questions for per objectives is enough, ma'am. Then 8 to 9 questions. More than 40 questions means then they are not ready to answer for the all the question.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
I invite Jansi ma'am to deliver the vote of thanks. Before that, participant, do you have any questions? Then I guess there are no other questions.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. I invite Jansi ma'am to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to propose vote of thanks on the occasion of second day of faculty development program on research methodology and power of research. I want to express our sincere gratitude to our resource person, Dr. Selva Kumar sir. Your presentation were enlightening and thoughtful. We extend our heartfelt thanks to you, sir, and
Thank you, ma'am.
future support. I would also like to thank our management. I like to thank our principal sir for giving permission for conducting the FDP. At last but not least, we extend thanks to all participation. Once again, thank you to all. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for all the presenters. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
this, we will end our sessions. We'll meet you tomorrow, most probably the same time. Thank you all for all your participation.